I am Bob Copperstone, a former newspaper journalist, and I like to write stories that mostly deal with my childhood in the mid-20th century. During my 80-plus years, I have accumulated troves of facts and memories as I experienced them here in Wahoo and surrounding Saunders County. These vignettes are presented as true and factual to the best of my recollection, and I wish to pass them on before they blink, flicker, and go dark forever. This is Growing Up Wigwam, as told by Uncle Bob. Dumpster diving into history. Citizens rescue nearly century-old bound newspapers, by Bob Copperstone. If it weren't for just plain luck, aided by the city library director, a history-loving studio photographer, and a museum curator, a slice of Saunders County journalistic history would have perished from local view. In recent weeks, the interior of the Wahoo Newspaper's former headquarters at Sixth and Broadway here in Wahoo is being stripped of its contents in preparation for the property's sale. The building dates from 1907 and is currently owned by Robert Johnson of Wahoo. Lee Enterprises, owner of the Wahoo Newspaper, was the most recent tenant. It also owns several other newspapers in Nebraska and several states. The Wahoo paper continues to be published from its other locations. Driving by the dumpster, Joe Vculek, a local photographer, farmer, and unofficial local historian, peeked into the bin, noticing that many bound volumes of old newspapers were among the doomed rubbish. "There's no law against taking stuff from dumpsters," Vculek declared. Later, it was learned that their actions were legitimate, since the dumpster was parked on a city street and not on private property. Vculek took some loose newsprint scraps for study and decided to share the discovery with Denise Lawver, director of Wahoo Public Library. Eric Hauser, curator of the Saunders County Museum, joined the group that met that evening at the dumpster site. Lawver later explained that Wahoo Police Department Chief Joe Bodler was notified of the group's intent. There were no police present at the recovery site or library. The library director said her interest had first been piqued when she spotted the dumpster and some of its contents during the morning walk. Subsequent inquiries by Vculek revealed that Lee Enterprises maintains warehousing in Omaha and that multiple truckloads from Wahoo had already been delivered there. Vculek agreed that the albums left behind to be disposed of are possibly duplicates of those already in the company's vast Omaha warehouses, or are in poor condition. But he concluded that local access to any of the newspapers in Omaha would be iffy at best, even if the papers were digitalized. For the sake of storage room, it is common practice most everywhere to destroy such items after they are thus reproduced. Curator Hauser is still inventorying the albums now being stored in the library's basement. When and if the printed history is snug and safe in acid-free capsules and officially accessioned by the local museum board of directors, the public would then be free to experience firsthand the actual printed pages. Future generations of local history aficionados, perhaps hungry to know more about their family trees, may thank the small gang of citizens who were willing to dive deeply into the dumpster to bring the printed words to a safe harbor here at home. Purple streetlights may pose danger. One by one, many LED streetlights in the southwest part of Wahoo have recently begun emitting weird purplish-blue rays instead of the formerly bright white lighting. This eerie color transformation is on the increase here in our town, causing a potential safety hazard. The prestigious Scientific American issue of September 27, 2023, suggested that, quote, the hue of the light illuminating a roadway could affect how drivers and pedestrians perceive their surroundings as they make their way through the night, and that makes purple streetlights a potential safety hazard. I first noticed the purpling last spring around Chestnut and First Streets. It has continued to spread in that general area. The purpling is spreading steadily now, day by day. I estimate that a dozen or more already turned strong purple, and a lot more show signs of the deterioration. One can actually watch the progress of a defective light as it grows more purple. I haven't yet noticed this phenomenon in other parts of this city. But Wahoo is not alone. Cities all over the nation have encountered this low-profile phenomenon over the past few years. In 2021, the city of Lincoln began quietly replacing thousands of faulty LED streetlights. That city said the manufacturer would foot that bill and indicated that the labor costs involved would also be addressed. The Scientific American stated that the bright purple light suggests that the phosphor layer around the lights has been delaminated, peeled off, exposing the blue LED light underneath. American cities and towns started switching their streetlights from the sodium lamps to LEDs about 15 years ago, which changed the color of many nighttime roads from yellow-orange to bright white. But lately, an odd new nocturnal color has been spotted across the nation and the globe. Anecdotal reports of purple-looking streetlights have been popping up since early 2021 in states including Florida, Utah, Texas, and Massachusetts, as well as in Canada and Ireland. The article continues, as the possible delamination of the lamp's coating, it could be caused by anything, heat buildup inside the light fixture because of constant operation, vibrations from passing cars, or even gravity tugging downward on the phosphor layer. Purple streetlights aren't good for driver or pedestrian safety, the article said. First, it's possible that losing the phosphor layer dims the lamp's brightness. Secondly, blue and violet saturated light can worsen people's ability to see details because of the lack of blue-sensitive cones in the center of the human eye's retina. Finally, the blue-violet light makes it very difficult to distinguish between different colors. Everything becomes a shade of blue or black. End quote. Pedestrians and drivers are advised to, quote, stay safe under purple streetlights by removing sunglasses and blue light filtering glasses when walking or driving at night. Carolyn Berry, Wahoo's utility office manager, said the staff has recently been apprised of the purpling and had recently met to discuss it further. To be continued.
Growing Up a Wigwam is written by Bob Copperstone and produced by Chris Beatty. Everything is recorded in lovely Wahoo, Nebraska. If you've enjoyed this and want some more stories about Uncle Bob and other things, please subscribe at chrisbeatty.com.